Alright, good morning. Can you hear me in YouTube land? Anyone out there? Thank you, Gabrielle. Also with this YouTube, I don't know why it defaults to the worst setting or for the worst resolution. If you just hit on settings and quality and you can move it to 720 and everything's clear. I don't know why it's all blurry. Alright, I'm going to do these disclaimers. I'll be back in a minute.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites or digital venues are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit and that losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment in both Staples and Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers farmers without reservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made with any account or slightly to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses on material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results at all, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
This trading room and its webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or to give specific trade recommendation. The analysis and subs I share trades and potential trades and I'm taking myself based on my personal analysis. The goal of this room is to teach trades on identify specific areas of trading and for themselves, but ultimately the decision is yours. Trading is extremely risky and if you decide to follow my personal trades, you still your own risk and potentially lose your entire account and even more. And that was profitable and I have 15 drawdowns on my trading accounts. The spreadsheet that I access to is my personal spreadsheet that I use to enter zone values and ATR values and I'll need to exact prices for my trades. You can see when I enter zone prices into the spreadsheet as well as the prices to enter trades whether you go long or short. You have the ability to copy the spreadsheet and enter your own values and use mine to confirm the zone prices until you're able to draw the zones correctly yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction to trade, it has your prices and stop prices for long and short positions depending on which way you personally decide to trade. Alright, good morning. Markets are selling off. I know that's ridiculousness, but it's happening. I was short, yes, I'm already out of that. And then I'm short Russell. We'll go over my entries, but I'm trailing to this newest stop run here. Russell's in trouble. So Russell's been leading. It's still in an
S&P Iceberg by ES 740 for contracts.
Still in an inflection zone. We'll talk about that. This could bounce right here. I'm going to be pretty quick to get out of these, but this has been a very nice trade here.
Copper stock sell HG 200 for contracts. NQ stock sell NQ 187 contracts.
All right, so everything's firing off. So I'm going to get out of a couple of these Russell right here, just because I can't keep an eye on it. It's extreme standard deviation. It's in that Izzy zone. So I had 8 on. I got out of 4. We'll go over the trade here, and then I'm going to trail the rest of these to this stop run here. But it's a pretty big move off of this trade from way up here. So we'll go over that here. Let's just get these newer zones drawn. Heard the ES by ice. This is actually really interesting. Is this okay? I was going to say that doesn't look right. So you can see Hero. Hero is free falling as well. All right, so we had 842-ish by ice. So this is the automatic zone drawer. You guys have access to this beta mode right now for free. Try it out. I'll put it in the chat here in a second. Just make sure this zone is accurate. You do have to adjust these zones sometimes. It's not perfect yet. That's why it's in beta mode. But,
Silver stock sell SI 196 contracts.
Yeah, this is up here. So what I think, I got to talk to the Yoan, the developer, about this. It's picking up opposing spikes, so it's like it drew it down to here. This was sell ice that was coming in here. See how it moved down? So that was not spiking down there. So that's how I would have that zone right now. You can see it started over here and then picked up. Actually, this is where it really. I'm gonna move this down here too. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. By the time I do this, we'll probably be at 0. But this is where it
started to get the
S&P
threshold.
Iceberg by ES 700 to contracts.
That's not going to matter because now
Silver
I got another
stock
spot.
LSI 193 contracts.
All right, so I made a decision to get out of my ES at the blue lug. We've obviously ripped right through there. I had so much going on I couldn't monitor it, but you can see here this thing just ripped right through the blue lug. But it already bounced off of it twice, so I was like, okay, that's good enough for me. It was a decent trade, and it just right through it. So this is happening very likely because you can see after CPI all this volume that came in. Hold on, where's my drawer guy? So NASDAQ, see all that volume. So these are like SI events in their own right? We're just looking at volume, and this is just a different way. This is high relative volume. All these, whoever was long in here is now in deep doo-doo. All right, same here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a retest of that, and then one of those, kind of like what happens with these SI events, but that is very likely what is fueling this move lower, where it just, right through important areas. Like the lugs are obviously, you see it bounce there, and then right through it. Well, these guys are in trouble, so a little puking going on here. As far as the thesis, market profile, I use market profile in the very basic sense. I merge days, the value areas of days. Value areas just where 70% or more of the trade, or 70% of the trade occurred, and then if the days overlap, I merge them and I get a composite, and then I basically come up with, I use them for targets, highs, lows, points of controls, and then I come up with a thesis based on how they're reacting at the highs and lows. So that you can see this just ripped out of here. If this comes back, this volume event, I can take a pick trade. Profiles encourage. We'll talk about that. All these different strategies that I trade here. But let's get the zone in, the newest zone. So this was bias as well. This is not drawing correctly for some reason. I'm not seeing where this is drawing. I got it down here basically. So you can see where it spiked up right there. It was just 100, but that's where it started, and then it came and spiked more and more and more, and then you can see this, and then you can see the yellow on the chart line as well. So that's the zone I have, 92.50 to 90.75. So if I were still short this, I would trail my stop to this, kind of like I was doing with Russell. I'm still short Russell, but I'm not short ES anymore, which just makes me sad because I want to see all these go to zero. But just kidding, by the way, kind of. All right, 48. Sorry, 47.92.50. So this is the spreadsheet we use in the room and I use for all my trading. Makes life so much easier. Just plug in the zones, plug in the ATR, and it tells you your exact prices to enter, to get out. This is available again to my room for free, or you can get a subscription on my other website. I will post that here shortly. Hold on, 6.70, so a nice ATR and yes. Let's just see where we're at here on the bigger picture. Of course, lost my charts. Hold on. All right, so this is the Izzy zone. I would take a long here, unfortunately. So, these markets really haven't done anything drastic as far as structure. This is the most recent balance area. Tried to break out yesterday, built more balance. It did break out of yesterday's balance, and it's trying to get through this high volume node right here. So, if that's the case, these are some of the best trades out there. Fail breakout of balance areas. So if this moves a little lower, aka through this zone, then this thing's in trouble, and I think it's coming down to here today. And you can see this is basically just one big, balance area. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this get down to here. But right now, this is an important inflection zone that I draw. These are areas I draw. You can get this in my room for free as well. I post 20 different markets every day.
Iceberg sell RT 155 contracts.
So nothing major here, but you had some buying tails, a little directional conviction.
NQ stocks stock by NQ, 166 contracts.
All right, let's just get this drawn, and then I'm going to take a long out of here if this moves higher. I already put that in there, and we'll move over to NASDAQ. So ISI zones are aggressive most times, meaning the first move in, first move out of the volume event, the stop iceberg volume event, I will take the long. So I will go long ISI 4,800 quarter, and I'll put on 6 based on my risk parameters. This is ISI. So we'll go over the ISI I took a little bit ago, if I get a chance here. 4,800 quarter. All right, so that's working. So if this, so I'm working this long. If this touches the invalidation price of 84, then I can't take a long. And these are just my rules that I've come up with of watching, you know, thousands of these things, how they react to these volume events, right? So if this touches that price I just said, which I just forgot, it 84. Came close here already, then I will cancel that. In the meantime, I could take shorts off of this, potentially, depending if it holds here. So the filter I use for my shorts, so the shorts I would take here for the trading strategies I use are the barks and the licks. So bark is just blind ATR retest confirm of a volume event, and then lick, it's the same thing. Let's see if there's liquidity down here. There is. I wouldn't really. So you gotta judge when you're putting on a lick trade, because we all know this stuff's magnets, meaning it's not. You don't look at this and say, "Wow, look at those big bids there. I want to get long." It's the actual opposite. It's, "Wow, look at all these big bids there that have been sitting there. They want their fill," right? How you know that?
Iceberg sell RT, 150 contracts.
Because the longer it's been in there, the more they want their fill. So if something happens, someone bombs something right now, this thing's going to go like that. Well, they're willing to get their fills, so that's how you know they want to be filled, right? And what they want, they usually get, because they're the big money, and they will make the market get down here, right? So we have trades that play for this liquidity called the lick trade. So anyway, if we go ATR retest confirm, I'm going to put on the bark and the lick. If this holds, it doesn't do that, then I'm going to put on the ISI long, depending on what happens. So you can see I'm a day trader. I'll trade both ways. I do have conviction in certain markets based on thesis, and then I'll trade bigger, but I'll still trade both ways. So for instance, I'm short gold. We'll go over this. I've been thinking this thing's going to go to zero the last couple days and see how it's heading down. And right now I have a bark and a lick trade short on this, off of this event from earlier. There you go. That's the pattern over and over and over. I don't care what futures market you look at. It just happens nonstop. So we'll go over that trade here in a second too. So to make this a bearish event, I need to see the validation price of 84. That's the same price.
703 contracts.
That's the same price as the invalidation for my long that I was just talking about. So there's a way now, potentially, I can still take a trade off of that event, and then I can trail my stop to that event, and I can add to that to the new event.
Iceberg sell RT, 157 contracts.
So if you're confused,
NQ Iceberg sell NQ, 152 contracts.
All right, so this still has not gotten to the validation price to short for this event, and now we got this coming in. So I'll still take an ISI off of this new event as well, depending on what happens here. All right, so let's plug this in a different part of the spreadsheet. This is actually the spreadsheet. What I should be doing is drawing NASDAQ first, because it's such a faster mover. Let's just see where we're at here in NASDAQ, my buddy. Weird buy stop run in the middle of nowhere. You don't see that often. Let's just take a look at structure here, and I got to trail my stop to that Russell event that just happened. So how these markets react to these inflection zones give you kind of a thesis as well, right? They're drawn for a reason. The markets have reacted at these areas many times, or they're drawn for certain reasons. That the 4 important areas of charting: tops and bottoms of balance areas, high volume nodes of balance areas, right? Tops and bottoms. High volume nodes. I don't draw the high volume nodes usually because I'll have too many of these things, but you can eyeball those. And then directional conviction and buying and selling tails. So that was kind of forewarning you that this was going to happen. When you get instant rejection, it's telling you something. So I saw that in gold as well.
170 contracts.
So this is another reason why I still think gold's going to get smushed, right? I already thought it based on this tail that it should have held and ripped, and it didn't. Came back, overcame that tail, and then kind of building balance and put in a selling tail today. Whopper. This looks like that to me. Doesn't mean I wouldn't take longs. You know, like if this was in this Izzy zone, I would take a long potentially. But if I get short setups, I'm trading double size. So I have double size on these trades I have on right now, and the market's just doing nothing right now. But anyway, let me. Now you got sell ice in here too, and just deciding whether I'm gonna combine these two zones. I think you can combine. Well, no, because this was a buy stop run, so I'm gonna move to this event here and just trade off of this one potentially. We're not in an Izzy zone or anything right now, so I'd have to wait for an ATR retest confirm to the short side. There's no really long trades for me for this event for NASDAQ because I use Algo Guy to confirm. It's just the exponential moving average. The blue is the short term, the red's the long term. I only trade my aggressive trades like the aggressive strategies, which are all over the nonstop, barks and licks, if they agree with this guy. We'll get into this more. I'm just trying to cover all this stuff while it's happening, but there's really no longs for me here unless, let's see, look at one of the most important things you need to look at are the Ludwig levels, core of my trading. And yeah, that is that's the blue lug. I mean, it didn't touch it to the exact tick, but I would consider that a bounce off the blue lug. So we have a trading strategy here. It's called I lug you. So that I could take a long here, but I need to see an ATR retest of this event.
Iceberg sell RT 181 contracts.
So I'll come back there in 1 second because I do have a position on here in Russell. I need to trail to this event, these events that are firing off here. Hold on, someone keeps texting me in my room. Right, mouthwash, I can't really answer stuff right now in there. Just give me a second too, because I mean, we'll go over this stuff in the regular trading hours, but when I'm doing these Bookmap webinars, it's hard for me to get over there and see your guys' questions. So, just quickly asked if I would combine both ES events, which I just see one here. You mean these two? You could. I mean, they were 4 minutes apart. And it's not like you're seeing this yellow line. It's not like it started here and kept going. So no, I would just trade that up by itself. And there you go. And I actually just missed a trade here. This was an Izzy trade that I was just saying I was going to take, and I missed it. So hold on. So this was I remember I was going to take an Izzy long off of this one. Actually, I don't even know why that's not in. I should have been long that other one. Hold on a second. So this is the zone that I was going to take the long. It's so hard once everything's firing off on these webinars, right? So that was the event right there, and I just missed that long. So that sucks. But I was supposed to put this in and trade off of this event, 88.50 to 88. So maybe it'll, most likely it'll come back here a little bit, and I might be able to get in it, but I missed that trade.
Sell RT 150 contract.
So that's upsetting because I knew that was going to happen because it always happens because the markets never can sustain a down move because they bungee jump every single time. What did I just fill on? Hold on. Oh, was that my original entry? So I think I just filled on the original Izzy long off that first event. Is that right? No, that can't be right. Whatever it is, that was wrong, and I just, of course, had an error. Hold on a second. That's my MO. It's just nonstop when I'm on these webinars. I just leave. I forget to delete orders, and I had that working for, I think I was trailing this. I can't even remember now. But anyway, I was going to go long that Izzy, right? And then that came in, and I could have gone long that. So let me just see if I can get that in, and I'll pull back. For 96 quarter, I could put on 7. That sucks. Hold on. So if that comes back to 96 quarter, I'll put on the Izzy trade. I don't think that was the original entry of that zone because that was 8 points away. So that I just left an order in the order book for some reason there.
Iceberg sell RT 177.
All right, so that did come down to my entry. I just didn't get in. I should be long this. So it's all on here. So I should have been long 96 quarter. And that came back right there, and I missed it. again, so I missed this trade twice now. There you go. So it's working in there. If it comes back, I'll take the long, but I'm not going to chase it, right? So if it doesn't come back, it doesn't come back. All right. So you got all these events in Russell, this sell ice coming in. You know, I would have traveled this first one, so I'm just going to get out of these because I just can't keep track of all this crap that's firing off on these webinars. So I'm just going to get out. This was a nice trade. Quickly, that was just this up here. This was a bark and lick trade. Algo guy. So for those, remember algo guy has to be in that direction.
Crucial Ice Iceberg Cell RT 167 contracts.
So this was kind of telling you something was up too. This tried to pull a couple times here and here. It couldn't pull that blue back above the red, and a lot of times when that happens, when it gets back below, then you get these cascading moves. I'm not saying that's the exact reason, but those algos jump in on that, and then you get everything else that's going on. But anyway, I saw this event, ATR, retest, confirm, I got short. Actually, it was just...
Stock by CL 167.
Let's just throw a couple more markets in too. There was no lick that I saw at the time, so I just had the bark on, and I just trailed it to that, and I'm out. So, nice trade, huge move, quickly, the way I like them. Don't happen very often. Alright, so let's see what's going on here, and Mr. NQ. Algo guy's bearish, so I cannot take barks and licks, so if this were to come back, which it probably will, I can't take those trades because of my filter algo guy. So really nothing to do there long. I'm still trying to get this fill in ES. If it trades 96 quarter, I'll be in the Izzy trade that we just talked about. But this is a, let's see this touch here, didn't quite get there yet. Come on, could you just fill me? I mean, seriously, this thing comes back to these volume events 90% of the time, and I just want it to come back to 96 quarter. I probably better be careful what I wish for on this fill, especially with this, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think. Yeah, I think this is going to get filled, but this is an Izzy zone. I got my volume event. I take the trade, right? If it's a loser, on to the next one. But I don't skip trades because I feel like something's going to happen, right? I can have an idea or a thesis. I'll trade bigger, but I don't, I think these markets are going to get killed. I'll still put on this long because this volume event was a bullish event in an important area. So that's the whole idea with this stuff, guys. It's whatever you deem important in your trading is great. You may be kicking ass with it, but I can tell you if you apply these volume events in those areas, you're going to be even a better trader, or it's going to be a better edge for you, right? So again, this was an important area, an area that I deemed important, that I drew the zone for, and there's your volume event, and I wanted to take that long. And we talked about this. If this needs to hold this balance area, then it should continue higher. If it gets through here, then there's really not a lot of structure down to this stuff. So if this breaks, then if I start getting short setups, I'm going to trade bigger to the downside. Whoa, that's not good. Hold on. My own personal fast market today. Hold on 1 second, guys. Had a man down there, had a drink spilled. All right, so I'm still being tortured by it. Speaking of having double size on, I'm still being tortured by this damn gold trade. This thing just will not die, and it is what it is. I mean, I traded it properly, but I traded bigger size because I think this thing's going to get killed, but it's just not dying, so we'll see. Other than that, let's see what's going on, Mr. Crude. Stop run. So these are the steps, right? Volume event. You should already have this in your head where we're at, bigger picture, just so you're not scrambling like I am to figure out where you're at. This is an Izzy zone, right? Inflection zone. Actually, let me post this stuff real quick too. I should post this every week. So that if you want the drawing tool, you can get it. Beta.
185 contracts.
These are the instructions for that. Do the survey. You got to contact Andrew in the Bookmap Discord, the Scott Zones channel. So that this gives you the instructions for that. Here's my course. Here's the charts, and there's the inflection, the Izzy zone charts I'm talking about, and then the spreadsheet. If you want that independently, you get it for free in my trade room. If you can't get in the trade room, you can get it here as a subscription, and then This is all the stuff that I use in my trading. Bookmap, and these are all discounts too. Bookmap, the MBO bundle you have to have. And then these are the things I use, guys. So I'm not saying if you come in my room, you have to have everything I have, right? You don't have to use the lugs. You don't have to use Tick Strike, right? You don't have to use Market Pulse. The stuff I use, what you do have to have, or you should have, is Bookmap and the SI indicator. That's it, right? Other than that, you don't need to get all this stuff if you don't want it. I just put in what I use, and you get discounts for any of these things that I use personally, right? So put this in there. If you got questions, throw them in Bookmap. YouTube. Uh-oh, that didn't post for some reason. That's weird. It's an error. Not sure why that's not working. I don't know why that. I am in the wrong YouTube, like the wrong channel here. Hold on, let me try this real quick. Hold on. I have no idea why it's not letting me post this. Interesting. All right, Dan from Bookmaps told me to send it to him. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, post that, please. I appreciate it. I don't know why it's not letting me. That usually lets me. It must be on the wrong account. But so that's that. All right. Still haven't been filled the ES, by the way. Let's see what's going on here. So it's not like I'm like totally excited to be long ES, right? I mean, this is an important zone. If this market's truly bullish, then it should hold here and move higher. But it's like this zone isn't like incredibly powerful. It's just, where a couple things happened here yesterday. So, I mean, I'll still take the trade, but to tell you the truth, I'd rather take a loss on that trade and then watch this thing start to free fall and then trade bigger size to the downside is what I really prefer. But I don't think the markets really care what I prefer. So we'll see what happens there. The other market, so you got natural gas number coming out. You definitely want to pay attention to natural gas. We've been talking about this in my room. I've been catching some monster trades in here. The ATR, the hourly ATR, has spiked 3 times, 300% in the last couple days. So it was down to a meager 30-something, 39. It was actually less than that, I thought, at one point. But anyway, it spiked up yesterday all the way up to 106. All this at 106. It's just as telling you how many ticks this is rotating in an hour, right? So it was back here, it was like only rotating about 30 ticks in an hour. You could see this terrible trade. Now this thing's starting to really roll. I've caught some really, really nice trades into these Izzy zones, right? There's one here yesterday, and so we'll watch this into the number. But back to crude. I'm supposed to be. Forgot about the crude. So I'm gonna let this settle down. Even if there's an event in here, I'll wait a second, just because the number's coming up. Right, Russell, there's been some weird stuff going on here lately. I know I keep hearing events, or you guys keep hearing events, but it's like this gets a little tricky when you get about 50 of these things, and they just keep. I mean, what are you gonna have an 100 tick zone? I mean, technically, ATR is 55, so it's not that crazy. So maybe we'll come over here. But the point is, right, even if I draw the zone, what adjusts in the spreadsheet is the size that you're trading, because it's just a bigger area, right? But you definitely want to pay attention here.
Stopped by NQ, 155 contracts.
So the markets are moving higher now, of course, and I didn't get that long on ES. But anyway, this is a ton of activity in this area. So the move out of here is likely going to generate a large move. Why? Look at this.
174 contracts.
So threshold here is 150, meaning that's the amount that I need to see to trade the tradable area. This was 500. This was 800. 400. 600. 600. 500. I mean, this is nuts. So I'm going to draw this zone. I'll come back here in a second. Let's get over to the NASDAQ first. And like I said, I missed this trade. This has already been about almost a 10-point winner. 8 to 10 point winner on ES. I just missed it. So my own fault. I talked about it and then I got off that chart. So hopefully you guys took it. I want to get over to crude too because that's in the Izzy zone. Stop runs here in Mr. NQ. This moves does not surprise me. Like I told you, that sell-off felt like it was the end of the world. Well, it was just a pullback. You can see where NASDAQ held as well, right? So right at that high volume node, and then put in a buying tail. So the hour's not done yet, but if this turns out to be after this hour's finished, and then you get a nice tail, I would expect one of those, right? It's already looking like that was going to happen, and it held right where it should have held for now. So, not surprising. We did the old bungee jump. Actually, hold on here. So, I mean, you could technically take this as an Izzy trade to short it. I mean, the market did move. So I'm talking about this zone here. It did move out. We're back here with a volume event. My bias is always wanting to be short, so I will take that. I don't love that trade, but let's set it up. Draw the stop run, and then I'll head over to crude for you crude traders. So that looks correct. See that how that spiked there? The price had not already traded. So you know the stops were there, very likely. Sweeps get first right to the order. You can see these white bubbles on my chart. Those are sweeps. So somebody's sweeping the order book. So these sweeps cause the stop run. So I wouldn't start them here. The stops couldn't have started there because that price already traded, right? So it had to start there. I mean, yeah, you can drop in stops out of nowhere, but they're most likely already sitting in here. So that's the price that I would have it. So I actually got to bring that down 1 tick. 2 ticks. 97 quarter, and then you can see this kept coming in here and here and there, so that's drawn correctly. 910 quarter to 897 quarter. So this is the process, and then you get the spreadsheet, you plug in the zone and the ATR. I just filled out my ES, of course. Hold on, I'm fine with that, but I want to get short this to offset that potentially. I don't trade that way. Like these are all independent. But at least if I get burned on that ES, I at least want to be short this based on this setup, if you know what I mean. 34. Wow, ATR is pretty high. 34.58. Come on. All right, so if this, that was in the Izzy zone, like I said, it came back in there. What is wrong here? That's what's wrong. What did I do here? Struggling today. Feels like a Monday. There we go. All right, so if the market, Izzy trades are aggressive, I would take that because it came back into that zone I just showed you. Entry for this shorts 35 quarter I can put on. That's not right. There's no way that's right. There's no way I could put on 17 with this volatility. 16, 9, 10 quarter. That's why. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Struggling today, man. 897. There you go. So now, yeah, I can put on 3, right? So it's basing my quantity that I can put on based on the risk I want. This is what's great about this. You put in your account size, the risk you want to risk. Again, don't be risking 10% of these Apex accounts that I'm qualifying for the each independent strategy, right? So I'm risking 10%. Do not risk 10% of if you have a actual account that you're trading, that's your money. I'd say between 2 and 3% per trade. But anyway, based on these risk parameters, I can put on 3, based on the volatility, the size of the zone. I don't. So many traders, this is one of the biggest errors. I say it every week, where you're imposing your will onto the market, meaning, well, I want to put this NASDAQ trade on, but I only want to risk 10 points. Well, the market doesn't care about your risk. The market cares about the volume event and the volatility. So don't adjust the area or the size, the amount you want to risk as far as the point wise. You have to adjust your risk, right? That's what you can control. All right, so this does look like that So I should already be short here, to tell you the truth. I might have gotten lucky. Yeah, that does happen once in a while. So I should have been in on this Izzy trade because those are aggressive at 57.50. Did that touch 57.50? Sure didn't. So no, I thought I got away with something. So anyway, if this comes back, I'm going to short Izzy 57.50. NQ. So let me put that in. Spilled on my mouse. That's not good. Hopefully it's working. There we go. 57.50. Got the airplane helicopter indicator going over my house too. So. All right. So I am long. I did get that fill. NES. I was supposed to get it over here. Came back, filled me. I'm long. Now let's look at some areas I'm going to potentially peel out of these. So I have important areas that I get out. I pay myself in the direct. Oh, this is directly out of trading in the zone, right? So I've added my stuff in, obviously, but these quotes are from right out of trading in the zone, right? I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. So these are the areas that I will get out of my trade, partial and or all of it at a major lug level usually, and or an opposing volume event. But these are the other areas where I'll piece out if it gets to these areas and can't push through. We haven't even got into these new indicators. Actually, I'm going to post this too. Hold on. The market pulse. I did a webinar. We did a webinar in my room yesterday with Bruce. The thing you guys got to see some of the stuff that these developers came up with. I'm going to give it to Daniel. Hopefully he can post it. Dan P. There. Posted that as well. If you can post that in the YouTube channel. So that's the webinar from yesterday. Just some incredible stuff. Hopefully we get to it. It's more scalping type stuff, but you can really use it as a hybrid to help you with your entries in this stuff. Like we were seeing some order book stuff. It was really cool. Like I always tell you guys, don't stare at this order book. Well, with the order book, Market Pulse order book, you just watch the video. It's really, really, really cool. And that's this one here. It's this order book pressure imbalance. So I was like a kid on Christmas Eve watching some of this stuff. So stay tuned for all that. That's a whole nother ball of wax for all you guys that want to scalp so bad. All right, so the short's working there. NASDAQ, I am long. Yes, I was going to look where I was going to get out, and then I want to get over to crude. Hopefully I didn't miss anything in there. Hold on. So this is an area where I usually will get out of half my trade is the yellow lug, right? This is a 6-point winner. So I'm going to get out of, I only have what do I have on here? I got 7 on. I'm going to get out of 3 here. So I'm out of 3 there. And you can see right where this bounced to earlier. If I would have been long earlier, got in when I should have, this bounced at prior blue. These are important levels too. This is that lug that just busted, right? So we also talk about coming up with a thesis based on what the lugs are doing, right? So we already know, like if this comes back out of here. So right now that's telling you something that it couldn't hold out and it's back in here, right? So it's back in here, you expect the other side. If this fails out again, then I'm thinking we're finally getting it to move down. Lugs are telling me this is potentially bearish, right? We obviously drew new Ludwig levels, I call them lugs, to the downside. Well, the thesis you can come up with this, if it holds prior blue, directional yellow, you expect blue. If it violates prior, yellow or directional yellow, and that's just like the point of control for these things, and prior blue, then you expect red. So you can see the first move up here, it held it perfectly, right? So right now I would still say I would expect that. Just based on the thesis looking at this stuff, right? It doesn't mean I'm long right now, right? But I'm just saying, so if this starts to move down lower, and then it breaks back out of here, well, I got a thesis here short, I got a thesis here short, we already looked at the bar chart, that structure, that looks short because it'll be violating that high volume node, but then I'm going to trade bigger, probably 2 times to the short side, right? So you'll have all 3 of these confluent that look like it's going to get killed. So right now I'm long, but I'm just coming up with a thesis where I can trade bigger in that direction if that happens, right? So I got out of a couple here, or 3 here at the yellow lug. It was a 6-point winner, 5 or 6 point winner, and then I still, now I got to put my stop into it. I didn't put my stop in. Stop for this. So I got on a 96 quarter, and my stop is at 80 quarter. And if a new event comes in, then I'll trail my stop to the new event. Again, I almost want to sacrifice this long. I hope it gets stopped out so I can start putting on shorts bigger size. Right? All right, so let's see what's going on here. Mr. Crude, so like this event, these events, yeah, I went. You could combine them on top of each other. I mean, they happen 10 minutes apart. You don't need to. I mean, it's only a couple ticks. It's not that big of a deal. We're just trying to figure out or see these areas where traders are loaded up, right? So you don't want to, a lot of times you don't want to get too cute with your zones. Like if you see something and see something, say, I'm just going to make that one big zone, right? And this one's only 5 ticks more, so I'm just going to incorporate both of these. And then I'll trade off of those. I just want to confirm that the stuff's right. So again, you want to see where the thing spiked. So that looked like it ended, and then it was just. So I have this. The stops are set at 10 seconds. So for me, right? So it'll just continue to draw for 10 seconds. But you can see here, and that doesn't mean there was more stops coming in. And that's the error I made for about 5 years. But we're drawing these correctly now, and then you can see it spiked more, and then more. So that did draw properly. So I'd say 73.45 down to the bottom here. 73.26. That's the zone. Plug that in. We'll see where we're at. See if there's a trade. Of course. Right after I go through all that, another stop run. Hold on. So I'm going to draw this one independently. I know I just said it, but it's like, combine them when you can. But this is a full, almost 15 minutes after the fact. It's pretty far from this. I'm gonna draw this one independently. So that just fired off, set 61 to 57. Let's put that in and just see if this is an ISI zone or a lug for a slug trade. 57, 73.57. I just put the right ATR in there. It's actually 20.229. 5-minute ATR Wilders. Let's see where we're at. Hey, what do you know? A slug. These are some of the best trades. Best winning percentage trades. Stop, run. What's a slug? Stop, run into a major lug. You got extreme standard deviation. Let's see what's going on with the delta here. Delta's. This is almost the dad trade too. It's not quite. So these are all these trading strategies, right? So this is a slug. Stop, run at major lug. Trade's taken aggressively. So that moves out of there. I'm going short immediately. I'm not waiting for a retest of the volume event. If this moves a little higher and that CBD continues to say it starts to move lower, well, that's the dada, dumb and dumber, aggressive opposite delta trade. So I'm not going to get in that right now because it's not technically there yet. But if it happens, we'll go over it. All right, so plug this. This is already in. This is telling you my exact entry. I will go short of 73.31. Potentially, I'm going to show you something here, though, because you don't want to enter in prior events. So 73.31 is technically the correct entry point. I could put on 9. The issue is I don't want to enter in prior events because this is where traders, so whoever got run over here are now holding their breath. If they didn't just start puking there as it comes back, the shorts in here that got run over on these stop runs, like, please let me out. So you don't want to, you want to try to get your entries outside of here, right? So I'll move it. It's supposed to be 31, which would be smack dab the middle right here. I'm going to move it. I'll just move it 5 ticks to 26. So I'm willing to sacrifice 5 ticks so I'm not entering in that zone. So once again, I could put on 9, and I'm going to move it down to 73.26, and that would be the dad trade. And let's see if this is a slug. I mean, it is a slug. I'm seeing if it's an ISI. I mean, yeah, this is an ISI trade too, right? So once again, my important areas, a Ludwig level. I don't just trade Ludwig levels on their own. You could, they're that powerful, but I personally have to see a volume event at my important areas. We just saw the slug with the stop run, right? Or the lug with the stop run. You see here's an ISI zone, inflection zone, right? Volume event, important area. I'll take that trade as well to the short side. This is a pretty important area overall. You can see this clown market just cannot figure out which way it wants to go. It's just been building balance for multiple weeks. This is the exact area. You had the selling tail. I mean, a lot of stuff's happened in this zone, right? Directional conviction. Gap down. That's directional conviction. Selling tail. Directional conviction. This is a very, very important zone, and now it's the top of this balance area. So if this holds, I would expect it to do one of these. If it gets out of here, this is going to be a breakout of this. It's going to get through this important zone. Then I would be expecting a whopper move out of here, right? And what could be happening too, this could just be building one bigger monster balance. So this could be moving up to this stuff, to the top of this, which is the high volume node of that, or the bottom of that, sorry. So I'm just giving you guys bigger picture stuff, but this is a pretty important area for crude. So I'll short it, you know, and if I lose on it, then I'm ready to start. It's going to be a breakout of that balance, and I'll start trading bigger to the upside. But you see, like, this is a zone, this is a slug. You see me just jumping in the trade? No, I've got to see my rules to get in. This is why, you know, I don't just chalk up when things don't work. Oh, that's just trading percentages. It is. But many times you'll see if your area, your important area, whatever you look at, is not working, and it didn't work for you for that trade or whatever. If you have this stuff, you're like, oh, that's why, because that volume event was a bullish event. Okay, and I got it, right? So this just helps tremendously in knowing what's happening real time. All right, so let me put these in. I'm still being tortured by gold too. I'm still short that thing. So what did I say, 26? So I'm going to put on Busy and Slug. Those are working. Other than that, if this turns out to be a bullish event, Algo Guy is bullish, I could take Barks and Licks to the upside, depending on what happens out of this zone. I have my rules. If it gets an ATR out of here, then this is a bullish event. Then those shorts are canceled, and then I'm looking to go long. And you can see the liquidity up here too. So, see what happens. Tick Strike is very quiet, by the way. I thought I didn't have it on. Feels like there's breath holding to me. So I got out a couple of those ES. Here it comes back. Remember, I'm still working these shorts in NASDAQ too. Like I said, I would love to just sacrifice the rest of those ES shorts, get stopped out, so I can start really looking for shorts. You know, for an ES, I already have my short working in here. So until you get filled, you need to be updating your ATR. Or you're going to be filling at the wrong price. You can see this is already starting to light up. So I got to make sure this is correct quickly. 33.98 now. So we'll see if that changes that. The short, so it was 57.50. Now it's 58.25, right? So I got to make sure that's right. What was I? Hold on. I forgot what oh, this was the Izzy. Did I not put that in? I thought I put this in. Guess not. Oh yeah, I did. So it's 58.25. I could still only put on 3 based on the volatility and the size of the zone. All right, so that's working to go short, 58.25. And then I got out of some of my ES longs, and the rest are stopping out at 80.25. So this is not surprising me. This is happening either, right? Even when I said I was putting it on, remember I said I do think it's going to come back down, but I follow my rules. I made a little profit on that. If it stops me out, fine. But this is not surprising me. This thing's going to try to get down. It's not going to try. It's going to, because this is the big money. They run the show. They will push this market into their orders, because they do what they want, because they're the big money. That's why they're the smart money. We're the dumb money. This is we're dumb because we can't push the market around like they can. They make themselves smart, right? So this is the price change algo. You can see here, it's, you know, this is the best to be trading. We'll look at this a little bit when we get a chance here, but this is just showing you extreme price change. You can see how this market reacts. I put a video out the other day on it. Go to my Twitter channel. The Twitter's in that document. I think Dan posted it. Let's see. Yeah, he posted it. What kind of drink did I spill? I spilled a glass of carbonated water, so not a big deal. But I still don't think electronics, I don't think they care whether it's water or something else. I spilled it right into my mouse. I recovered nicely though. Mentally anyway. So what was I just showing? Oh, the price change algo. So all that this algo is just what I've been just started watching this, right? Bruce made a video on it a couple weeks ago. That's on my I posted that on my Twitter channel too, or X, whatever the hell it's called now, and on my YouTube channel. I didn't put it on my YouTube channel, but I think I posted it here last week. Anyway, it was a real eye opener to watch. These are these new market pulse algos, right? So you can see them all in here. This one's the price change, and then you got the spread. This Bruce, watch the webinar I just posted. This was yesterday. We went over all of these. They're incredible. I cannot wait to start to watch some of these things. But the price change you can see here, like when it makes an outside price move, these algos snap it back. Outside price move, the algos snap it back. It's all fine and dandy when nothing's going on and it's quiet. They work like a charm. But when big money comes in, you obviously are going to get a price change that keeps going a lot of times. So that's built into these algos, risk factors, I'm sure, risk parameters, right? They know they can push 80% of the time, nothing's going on in here or more. They just keep whipsawing you. And then when big money does come in, they'll get run over, but then right back to doing that to you. The point is, even if you're not trading off this, at least it's refreshing just to see why the market's doing what it's doing, right? It's these algos they're picking up on this stuff, and then the volume and pressure. This is the main market pulse that I use. This one, see if we find any of these. I'm sure we can. Actually, there was none today in ES. Yeah, there's a couple up here. Let's see. So this was just the highest buying or selling in the last hour. The most intense buying. This was right at the open, but you had big buyers, they're off sides, and then it came in again here, and then they came in again here, and then this was the last one, and this is the routine. Granted, there was sell ice here, but this is the pattern that I see in these things. I'll have a course for this eventually once I learn all these other ones. Extreme buying. This is the fade type, right? The buyers got aggressive. Pretend that ice isn't even there, and obviously somebody absorbed that buying too, but pretend the ice isn't there. Big, and you can see it on the sweeps too, these white bubbles. They got aggressive, wrong. Here's your retest. Just the same patterns over and over. You go short on the next low. When you catch the monster move down, all you do is put your stop there. That's more of a scalp trade. I'm just pointing this out to you guys, right? So you can see when you combine that stuff with the other stuff, and I'm sure this is price change up here too. Now you got a bunch of confluence, right? Right there, 85%, biggest price change, buyers off sides, sell ice. So you see how all this stuff kind of intertwines. You don't have to use all this. This is the core of my trading, is the iceberg events, right? Because that's where the most concentrated volume happens. But you can see how the markets, what these algos are trading off of. Just to know keeps you sane, right? Instead of thinking the market's always against you and every time I put on a trade, it rips against me. Well, if you start to understand what the hell's really going on, it helps clarify things where you won't end up in an insane asylum, which I'm probably one step from. But now we have this, and now I'm not gonna go to that insane asylum. All right, and this is Hero. You can see this is moving down. We usually say there's webinars here. Go to my website. That they're at the most recent two I did with Brent from Spot Gamma. Another factor. This is just one entity in the market. These options dealers have to hedge with options. This is showing their hedging activity, right? So it's like when they get low. This is showing the options activity. When they get loaded up with options, they got to turn around and hedge with futures. Meaning this is going down. They got to sell futures. They're just one entity. They're a large entity. But it behoove you to keep an eye on that to see what's going on. So you can see this market's moving with the Hero. So they're having a pretty strong effect. Did I get filled on this? I didn't even hear this fill. Hold on. Yes. So I'm short my buddy, my chum, and Q. For the 58 quarter, stop for this one is 49. So you can see here, I'm risking 91 points in this trade. I know a lot of you guys are rolling your eyes. Oh, my, 91 points. What the hell are you talking about? It's all based on volatility and the size of the zone. That's the best way that I've seen to trade these, so you don't. I just showed you two different algos that will whipsaw you to death. So if I'm going to be wrong on this trade, this thing's got to come all the way back, the multiple ATRs, right? I get in at when it moves outside of an ATR out of this event. So for me to be wrong, so I don't get algoed to death, right? It's got to move all the way back to here and outside of this to stop me out. And if I get into an event, then I'll trail to that. But you can see here why this is doing what it's doing. Here's the price change. Wow, what do you know? Look at that. We just talked about this. Spike, snap. Spike, snap. Sometimes it keeps going, right? Again, the reason it keeps going is because when there's bigger moves, the big money's unloading, you're gonna get some. That's why you got to be very careful trading this in active hour. Like, when it's, you know, at the open and stuff like that. But when it dies down, you will be amazed on these spikes, and every one of them does that. Even if you don't trade them, like I said, at least you can understand what the hell's going on here. So right here, did I panic out? Am I panicking out of the short because it snapped back? No, it doesn't surprise me at all. There's your price change. There's that. They can do this for 4 hours. I don't give a crap as long as it doesn't get the ATR above there, which it very well could, and that's fine. If it does, I know this is the best edge that I could possibly have out of the next trade, right? That's what trading is, guys. It's trading in probabilities if you have an edge. If you don't have an edge, you're in trouble. All right, so what did I say? 90 or 49 quarters is stop for that. So currently I'm long ES, short NASDAQ. So let's see what happens here. I don't obviously prefer that. I don't like having opposing positions on, but that's what these setups told me to do, so that's what I did. I take my opinion out of the market as far as my feeling, I should say, what I feel is going to happen. I just trade my setups. If you're retrading in the zone, you'll see, then that's what this is how actually, we haven't even gone over the reversion trade today, but that's how that all came about. It's basically taking any edge that you think you have, right? That's this part. You learn to trade edge like a casino. And then he literally gives you the exercise, and this is how the reversion trade was born. We did this in my room. I'm like, okay, I always say these markets come back to the volume event. Let's come up with a trade for that. And we did. And it's just, and then that's this part of the spreadsheet as well, right? And it's just literally like your own algo. So if you want to take the ATR long here, so this is already looking like it's happening, right? So you would have been long here. This is a different type of trade. This is more of a scalp trade. So I would have been long at 66.75. This didn't stop out there, and I'm just playing for a move back to the zone. So this trade was born working on doing the exercise from trading in the zone. That's that trade. So very likely it's going to do that. That's another reason I don't panic, because I know if we have a trade that's built for that. So am I going to panic out of my short when it does that? No, I expect that. That's this trade. So for me to be wrong, it's got to get an ATR out of this volume event, right? So that's that. Let's see if you guys got any questions. I got to take a break. Thank you, Annie. I didn't spill it on my keyboard. I spilled it on my mouse, so it seems to be working. That's good. You said you are long NQ. I'm not long NQ. I'm long ES. I'm short NQ. And the reason I was short NQ is because I got a volume event in an important area, my IZZY zone. And I said this one was, kind of marginal. This is a different look at the IZZY zone. It didn't, because it moved out, came back in, got my volume event. I'm talking about this zone here. So I'm short NQ. I'm long ES. I got out of a couple of ES at the yellow lug. It was like a 6-point winner, 5-6-point winner. And I still have those on. There we go. I didn't see this. So so here's a perfect example, right? I'm still not filled. Did you see me jump in at the lug? Did you see me jump on my IZZY zone? No, I need to see this event fail. This could be very well be a bullish event, and it almost is if this gets an ATR above here. This is crude. So I didn't short that yet, right? And I'm avoiding potentially getting run over here because I'm following my rules of my trade plan. I keep refreshing to see if there's new lugs. We'll keep an eye on that. Anyway, I got out of some of my ES long at the yellow lug. Right, I got lucky and got in this and it came back, but I got out of some there. Still long. This is very interesting. What's going to happen here? I'm telling you, this is going to set the tone for the rest of the day. This thing here, let's see it as a day trade here. Just coming up with a thesis. We already talked about the lug thesis, right? If it built new lugs to the downside. If it's truly bearish, lug-wise, it should hold prior blue, directional yellow, then you expect blue. Well, that looks like that's happening. This tried to get back, broke down, looked like it was going to get back. Now it's back outside here again. That looks bearish. So those two things are already going to, if I get any short setups, I'm trading double size. Then we talked about this. This high volume node is very important. And here we are again. This breaks this zone. Bye-bye. That's my thesis. I have no idea if that's going to happen. Nobody does. But I will trade bigger in the direction of my thesis. If this, so say that I did say this, I got a event and I took it, right? And I'm short double size. And then it comes into this right here and I get a bullish event. Will I skip my long because I think this is going lower? based on my thesis, no, this is an Izzy zone. I would take the long. If it's truly bearish, you shouldn't be seeing bullish events. See what I'm saying? Kind of like crude here. If this is a great resistance area, then these events should turn bullish. So it helps keep you out of trouble as well. All right, and I'm still short gold. I'm once again, you got to be careful letting your convictions like cloud your judgment. I didn't do anything wrong here. I mean, I'm pretty certain in my mind that this thing's going to get killed. But in the meantime, I am getting tortured on this trade for hours, right? And who knows? I thought it was going to break yesterday, and I took losses on it. It was at the end of the day. It was during the Bruce webinar, and I put it on, and I took a loss on it. And didn't do it yet. But I still think this is going to get smoked based on what we talked, especially with this tail today. I already thought it was going to get killed yesterday, and then you put that in. That's just extra ingredients. So I'm short double size that based on my thesis. We'll see. Looks like all these markets are going to get killed except for crude. All right, let's try to draw this area. It's ridiculous as far as the size. We've been seeing this a lot lately. And you see how these markets respond to these are what these are drawn for on these inflection charts. Look at this. So what you're viewing in that iceberg, all those ice events, that was happening back here with buy ice. You can see that's where that happened. That led to this. This is never retested. Then the same thing happened here. It was just buy ice for like 300 ticks. I drew that, and you can see we talked about this on last week's webinar. Overnight, that night, it like tested like 10 times and failed. So it failed there, failed there, failed there. Tried to get through it, poked its head above, gap down, failed. So now here we are again. I'm going to draw this on the chart for tonight. All this sell ice, very important. This market looks like it's in big trouble, thesis-wise. Does that mean it's going to happen right now? No idea. But you can see here, there is no structure over here. The elevator shaft, as I like to say. So you had here, breakout, failed, and that stuff we just talked about. Tried to hold the high volume node, That's just where the most trade occurred in a balance area. Tried twice, built more balance, breaking down out of this balance through that high volume node, bye-bye. That's my thesis. Right? So, meaning if I get short setups, I will trade. Now, I wasn't willing to do it on that first short this morning, but now I start getting short setups, I am trading double size to the downside. And that's it. I'll still take longs. I'm a day trader, but if I get short setups, I'm trading double size. So you can see that this is just one big monster ice area, sell ice. We already started doing this. This is like 4,000, I think. Right? You got all of these. Let's just make this one big zone. So I'm just going to go like this. So it's not hard on the eye. You could trade these independently, but you don't want to get too cute when all this. Some grain stuff. And I am listening for natural gas because it looks like I missed a trade in there. We'll look at that. But that was right after the number. I elected not to trade right after the number in there. We'll look at that here if we get a chance. I'm just Xing out all these because I'm going to make this one zone. You can see how many events happen in here. This is very important. This is fuel for the next move. Somebody in here is going to be real right. Somebody's going to be real wrong. Do I know which way? I would lean short. One, based on my thesis. Two, paper, big money is selling here, hidden. That's what icebergs are, right? Until they get triggered. So I would say lower. Don't know. I do know the move out of here is going to be a whopper. So if you guys, have options experience, we talk about this all the time. Every time we see this, you see a whopping move one way or another. This is where you can buy a straddle, right? Where you buy a put and a call. One of them is going to be very likely a huge winner, right? So I need to stop talking about doing that and start doing it because I talk about it all the time and then I never do it. But I need to do that. All right, let's see how far this went up here. That was that. That looks like that was up to there. So that's what I would use for that zone. Just a whopper, right? This is over 100 ticks wide. But it is what it is. You incorporate all this. I will promise you, we talk next week, there will be probably a 5 time, I bet you it's 300 to 500 tick move out of here, would be my guess. Right? Do I know which way? No. What you could do for this is trade that accordingly. Granted, you're not going to have much size on because of the size of the zone, but it's the same thing. You're taking advantage. Whoever's wrong here, you're going to see pukes. So now you just sit and wait while you watch the breath holding in that zone. All right. Any questions? No questions. No questions before we go to zero. Our crude is still just sitting here, waiting to see what I do with that. I do have my shorts working, but they may be DQ'd. Natural gas is ripping off the page. I'm telling you guys want to pay attention to this market. Like it's Algoville. You better fasten your seatbelt if you trade it. You're going to be tortured. But these moves have been insane. I will bet anything this was an Izzy trade. Let's look. Right around 3060, 3.06. Let's see. Just so I can have something to complain about. What did I say? 3.06. So I can delete some of these because the market's traded up and through them. This is, the farther they go back, the more important they are as far as, how many times or past things. But I can definitely delete this one here. Right, even though that looks like, let's see. Yeah. So that was that event. Right, so the market, that was this zone here, came back to here. This is where this gap down this day. This was the top of this balance too. Market came back, put in the buy ice. I could have been long that. This was a whopper. Right there. Number came out, so I missed this trade. I mean, it's just natural gas is crazy lately. It is what it is. There's your buy ice. There's your Izzy zone. You get in that aggressively. I don't know if you like 100 tick trades straight. That trade's for you. If you'd rather be tortured like I am, like in gold, then don't take those trades. But that's a whopper. Let's see what else I missed. Let me guess, it was like a lug too. It was at the yellow lug, but nothing really there, and you got new lugs on. So missed that trade. I even said let's keep an eye on it, and then I forgot. So another winner I missed. Makes me sad. What's not going to make me sad is when everything swipes to zero today. That's going to be fun. Free gold. Speaking of which, I thought wheat was going to get killed the last couple of days too. Let's see what's happening in here. I don't know if there's any events, but this market's in trouble too. This guy's just all the same stuff. I don't care what you're looking at. Balance, breakdown, held, high volume node. Came back, tried to break out of that guy, building more balance. I will bet if this balance breaks to the downside, you're going to have free bread for everybody. Free wheat beer. And how you can tell if there's events, you come over here, because I hear them, but I don't hear them, right? Hit alerts, and here's all the events, SI events today. There's my Russell, renamed it Russell. Nat gas, that's the one I missed, that was pleasant. I'm not saying anything. Plus with the zone, this is another great thing about the zone drawing tool. It's just like, this was Bitcoin, by the way. So 25 is a threshold in Bitcoin. Obviously they got that, I'm assuming the news is out whether you got a lot of activity here today. I would probably up your threshold. This isn't really telling you much, but same stuff. This is the futures. They work just as well in there. But the great thing about the just zone drawing tool, like there's been nothing in wheat today. Let's see. I thought I heard bonds. Is there anything in bonds? Nope, nothing in bonds. Zone and so have you guys seen this pattern? I don't know if I've mentioned this pattern before where it gets ATR plus and comes back to the zone. There you go. So that's actually potentially a bullish event. Let's just take a quick look at Algo Guy. I might be able to take that trade. Looks like I already missed it, but it might get a chance if it moves back out. Now Algo Guy's bearish, so I don't take barks and licks. So nothing to do for me there. But that's the great thing about the tool. You can just channel through all these events. Like there, this was a silver event. This was a Dumb and Dumber at the time, it looks like. Rejected. Probably, I'm sure that was an Izzy trade too at the time. Yep. So it was right there. So there was a stopper in copper too. We'll look at it. But all these metals look like they're going to zero. Look at that. That's breaking down. Silver, bye-bye. It's my opinion, but we already talked about gold. Talking about gold for 3 days. This is that do or die. This is copper. This is balance breakout. Where's it at? High volume node. That breaks. Bye bye. And you can even say this was a failed breakout of that. So that looks like zero. Free copper for everybody if you're going to use copper for something. But that's the great thing about this stuff, guys. You know, if you have the bandwidth to watch, you should be watching at least 3 to 5 markets because you're doing yourself a disservice if you're just staring at crappy ES. I say it all the time. But you can be, you know, there's a stopper. That's all the same stuff. Look at that. There's your ATR trade. You want to trade the, oh wow, and look at that. I can't believe it bounced off this prior event too. Must be a coincidence. Same stuff. Broaden your horizons. Start watching other markets. As I watch paint dry in the equities, this is just breath holding in my opinion. We already talked about all this volume in the CPI. So let's see something here real quick. Yeah, Max 7's dead lower too. Talked about this pre-market. Like these guys are in big trouble. There was some serious investment after that number. You know, what did move lower, but somebody was obviously passively buying it. That's like your, like I said earlier. And what did I draw earlier? Watch.
S&P stocks sell ES.
Bye bye.
614 contracts.
Bye bye. Anyway, remember I said.
Stocks sell NQ. 192 contracts.
Remember I said I was going to retest that area, and that's exactly what happened. All right, so now this is how I trail my stop in NQ. So remember I was saying I had to risk 96 points? Well, now I'm going to draw this area and trail my stop. I mean, it's drawn on its own. I'm going to trail my stop to this newest event. It's not quite in an IZZY zone, so I would not take an IZZY long off of this event, but I'm going to trail my stop. So all I do is plug this new event in, make sure the zone's right, and I trail my stop to this. That looks correct, I think. I gotta get this price change off here. Hold on. Yeah, no, that wasn't. That traded back and forth, so I would move this. I mean, it did start. Yeah. I'd probably have it here because this was kind of. I mean, this was only 32. This was threshold here. Actually, let's just go where it's threshold. I mean, the zoning drawing tool is picking up where, you know, a couple came in, but I want to see where there was the most concentrated, and that's where this real spike started to happen. 48. You don't want it where price already traded, right? That's where these sweeps were, which probably triggered.
S&P Iceberg by ES 793 contracts.
All right.
NQ stocks sell NQ.
Bye.
237 contracts.
Nice knowing you. So guys, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. Great. I mean, I'm short. I just got stopped at my ES, and I remember I said I hope that I sacrificed that because now we got events. Now I'm going to trade these puppies bigger size to the downside. So I got out of some of those ES. I took a loss on the rest of them, and now we get to play some ball. You can see the tick strike just going ape shit, as my grandpa used to say. I love saying that every webinar. Now you got a double whammy. This is a delayed double whammy. This is one of my 6 distinct trading setups. Dumb money puke into the waiting hands of buy ice. Does that mean it's going to go up? No. It's more likely to go up because the dumb money is selling. This isn't initiative selling. It's guys puking most times, and then you got buy ice buying, or the big money buying down here. If this breaks, that's even more because this should not break. And this is in my course too. Broken double whammies and broken step bros. That's one of the 6 setups. The other one of the 6 setups. That's telling you something's up that they're not holding. Watch out. Right? By the way, this is breaking down out of this too. So all these buyers in here that got a mouthful of sell ice, big trouble. And that's without even the structure stuff. That's just with that. All right, let's draw this. I'm going to make this one big zone. I mean, it's 9 points, but I want to incorporate. I mean, you could draw this. I guess we could draw this. Let's see what this looks like. Just trade this at the ice zone. Again, we're looking for areas of you know, big volume trap traders. I just don't know if you need to make this a 9-point zone. I think you can trade off of this one independently. Let's see what these guys are saying to me. Oops, sorry. lugs. Thank you. That's good too. By the way, I would have been getting out there. I just wasn't paying attention. I'll come back to ES here in a second. So one of the areas I get out of my trade are the lugs. They just blew right through the lugs. So that's good. So let me first get this NASDAQ zone drawn and trail my stop to this. Because I have a position on, right? 804.50 to, I can't even read that, 97. So I always say how annoying tick strike is. I can't trade without it. I've been trading for 15 years. It's such torture when you're hearing your position going against you and watching it, but it's like music to your ears when you get a position going on that way. And I forgot my zone already. Let's get over here. 804.50. 797. ATR 33.93. Now I can trail my stop for this short I am on. I can put on more shorts off of this event, but the short that I had on from higher, that stop now goes to 58. So I'm basically going to scratch this trade if this comes back. Right? So remember, I was short off of this event. Again, I don't know if you've ever... Actually, this was the Izzy. This wasn't ATR. This did ATR retest, but this is the Izzy trade. All right, stop is up there. Now I get to bring it all the way down to an ATR above here. So 58. This is a decent trade for only having 3 on. It's almost a 500. That's a one hour winner. It's almost a $500 winner with a three micros on. That's a pretty good trade.
NQ Iceberg sell NQ 197 contracts.
All right, so I'm going to do the same thing with this event. And then there's a way I could potentially short.
NQ stock by NQ.
Such weird.
204 contracts.
So weird how you get these buy stops in the middle of nowhere. But anyway, this is a double whammy going the other way. 200 stops into the sell ice. I'm going to trail my stop to this event. So you had the top here. I just want to make sure the bottom's correct. What is it? You knew that was going to happen on Bitcoin. I knew that was going to happen. It's always sell on the actual news. Everyone was so gung-ho to buy that thing on the... I'm assuming they got the approval, and then bye-bye. All right, let's see here. I'm not seeing where... I guess it's there. Yeah, I think that's right. The bottom's right. So I'm going to use this bottom, 79 quarter, 779 quarter to 795.50, the top of the stop run. And I'm just going to do what I just did. Just put the new zone in. 7, 9, 95, 50. Oh, by the way, the new zone drawing tool, I don't want you guys to get you too excited because it's not ready yet. It's going to auto-populate.
NQ Iceberg sell NQ 246 contracts.
It's going to auto-populate the spreadsheet.
Brussels Iceberg sell RT 248 contracts.
And your ATR. How cool is that? You know how much time I'm going to save typing this crap in? ATR is 33 still. It's pretty close. So I'm going to... So now my stop goes to 34.50. I just saved myself potentially another 20 points. So now this is a guaranteed winning trade no matter what. Actually, yeah, no, my stop was way up here. I mean, my entry was way over here. It's like 100 points, I think. Close to it. All right, so anyway, 32.50. I just don't want to stop out in a prior event, and it's not. It'd be just above these events here, so I'm fine with that. Let me trail this stop. So that's a 117 point difference for where I had my original stop, just based on the new events. That's how I trail my stops, based on something that happened in the market, not because I don't want to give back my car payment, right? The market doesn't care about your car payment. The market cares about volume events. Trail your stops to volume events. That's working. That's a nice trade. And back to ES, still sitting in this zone. Please tell me gold is finally breaking, you pigs. You know it's going to its home. It's just taking forever. I mean, if anything, just give me another event so I can trail my damn stop. I'm so sick of staring at this thing. This is not threshold, so I'm not going to trail to that. So the torture ensues. Please, someone in my room, tell me you caught this NG trade, please. Man, it shows like you had to. If you didn't catch this, you're going to be in the doghouse. I mean, look at this trade. So sad. Makes me sad. All right, crude's still working too. I never got the ATR above there, so I could potentially still take that short that's still in there. Remember, if this gets ATR out of here, I'm canceling my short and I'm taking longs potentially. Bark and lick longs. You did, but small. That's fine. Who cares? Small with that moves got to still be a very nice profit. I think it's moved almost 200 ticks, so I'm not mistaken. 150 ticks. All right. Any questions? Throw them in YouTube. There we go. Say nothing. Metatron futures. Thank God. Thank God for what? I don't know what you're referring to. So same thing goes here. We already talked about this with ES, right? What do we say? Like, wow, I can't believe that bounced off the blue lug there. Huh.
Net gas ice
Wow.
iceberg sell NG 150 contracts.
So if I were short, I would have been out there anyway. This is the only, I either get out on an opposing volume event, right? Or the lugs, because they're that powerful, and you just saw why I get out at the lugs right there. So anyway, what did we talk about earlier? The thesis. We said, new lugs. What do you expect? If it's going to continue lower, it should hold prior blue directional yellow. What do you expect then? Blue lug. There you go, blue lug. What do we say here?
Gold stocks LGC 153 contracts.
It broke out. Oh, hey, what do you know? What do you know? 2 days of holding this. I didn't hold it, but I put it on yesterday too. So now I could trail my stop. Free gold for everybody. Free gold chains. I told you I was one step from the insane asylum. You got to make yourself laugh, by the way, or you will lose your mind for real. 20. Now I'm going to trail my stop here. I'm short double size too. 2028.2 to 2025.6. This was my thesis. That's why I traded double size. This might be in an Izzy zone where I have to go along that strategy. We'll see. And I got to see where I'll be getting out of these two. I better hurry up here because gold is not. It moves very fast sometimes. It was really whipping around earlier. 2025.6 ATR 2.93. So now my stop for these shorts, I was short higher is 22. Actually, that would just basically be a scratch, but if it comes back there, but that's fine. Doesn't mean it's coming back there. My stop was way up here. It was at 06, right? That was an ATR above this zone, and now I move it to that. Let's see where we're at here lug wise. See if I can get out of some of these, so I can at least pay myself for having this opinion for 3 days now or more. Real close to the blue lug. We are here. If this bounces off of this, I'm going to get out. And this is where you can use your price change too.
Gold stocks
Bye-bye.
LGC
See ya.
1205 contracts.
1,200 stops. They say all these, I was about to swear there, all these fine gentlemen that had been buying this whole time for the last 3 days, 1,200 stops. This is actually a slug, unfortunately. It just went right through there too. This is so refreshing to see my guys. I'm right, not even half the time, but when I am right, I'm trading double or more size, and it's glorious. And this one's glorious, especially when you see the pukes too. Just so gratifying. All right, hold on. I'm gonna get out a couple of these just because I'm not gonna be able to watch it, eyeball it. Hold on. It's glorious. I'm just gonna get out a half here because I had double size on. Hold on. Damn it. Hold on, please. Hold on. And don't ever think gold can't keep going, by the way, because it can keep going. And this is, we'll talk about where I think it's going to zero. Hold on. I had all these other accounts on too. I blew out one of my Apex accounts that I messed around with, and it was $500 away, and I blew it out, and then it went where I went. So I only had $500 left. I was up like 90 or $8,500. I gave back $5,000. I'm out of it, and I would have totally qualified with this move, and I stopped out. That's not cool. We'll go over Apex here too in a second. All right. So. All right. So with the remaining contracts I have on, I'm trailing into this whopper stop run. Actually, I mean, I guess you could combine this, but this is just huge. I mean, this is a 100 tick move, just on the stop run. So I'm gonna trail it to this event here. 1,200 stops. So gratifying. 2 days I've been tortured by that market waiting for this to happen. 2025 to, so this is a 43 tick zone, but I mean that's what it took to absorb all these pukes. 2025 to 2020.7. I forgot what I said. 20.7. ATR is 3.29. All right, so now my stop for these, I could still trade off of this event, but short, potentially, or long. Excuse me. 88 is my stop for the rest of them. Let's see about 10 more pukes, fat finger pukes down to zero. I love how this liquidity pulled too, right when it got there. Actually, this is my lick trade. I'm supposed to be out of this trade at the liquidity. So I'm just going to get out of the rest of the licks and then hold the barks. Even though the liquidity pulled, this was my target for the liquidity trade. That's how I trade it. I'm trading all the way. I don't look at anything else but the liquidity for that trade, for that strategy. All right, so I'm out of lick. Now I'm trailing my stop to that 87. I think I said 88 for the rest of my bark. All right, that's working. All right, I don't even want to look at gold right now. Actually, let's see, is this a Nizzy zone? Please don't be Nizzy zone, because I really don't want to go long this market. It's a Nizzy zone, of course. So that in this instance, if I do go long, remember, here's an important area. I think it's going to zero, but I will take the long. In this case, I wait for retest failure. It's not first move out of the volume event because you're breaking down out of multi-day balance. These are not good long trades percentage because you got all the guys puking, and we just heard about 1,700 pukes. That's all these jackasses that were long in here puking them out, right? So I would take that Izzy, but I need to see ATR retest failure. So we'll wait and see if that happens. Hopefully it just continues its move to zero. ES is just sitting here. I don't think we even put this in, did we? We're almost at the end of the webinar too, guys. So I want this up here. Whoops. No. So a great example today of, we caught some winners, but the markets moved where I thought they were going to move, and I took advantage of it with double size. But you saw me originally; I was long ES, even though I thought this was going to happen because I follow my rules. If you can get to that point in your trading, you're there. This has got to be moved up. I don't see this spike down. I got to talk to Johan about this because it's picking up spikes the other way. I guarantee that's what's happening there. All right, so that's that zone. Actually, no, I'm going to move this up. So like I said, I mean, I'm just going to make this one zone. Make this one zone because this is basically a double whammy. Just do it like this. You don't have to. I mean, you want to be cute, it's fine. But I want as many trap traders or investment in an area as possible. So that's why I do it like that. That's still sitting in there. 86.75 down to 79.50. All right, so what we do have, these have now all turned from my barks and lick strategies. Obviously, algo guys, bearish, yes. It's definitely got to be bearish in NASDAQ. Bearish in NASDAQ, so all these new events, I can take barks and licks off of as well. We're at a spot gamma level here too. You can see it's struggling. I got 3 on. I'm gonna get out of 2 right here. Hold on, let me just see where we're at. These are one of the areas that I get out. I'm very consistent with that, right? I've already showed this right here. Pay myself as market makes money available to me. So this is spot gamma levels. And it's, let's see what else we got. It would not surprise me to see gold out of this blue lug here, by the way. And it's inside this market profile composite. When it gets inside a composite, you expect the other side. So I am preparing for that. That would be glorious. And you're a current yellow lug. This is really nowhere in the market profile. So I'm gonna get out. I'll get out of 1. I got 3 left. I'm gonna get out of 1. Or actually, I only had 3 on. I take that back. I'm gonna get out of 1 here, and then I got my stop working. So if it does come back, I'm stopping out at 30.75. That's all in the spreadsheet. I already showed that. As far as this new setup, I'm gonna combine. Well, we already put this in, did we not? Let's see here. I gotta hop off here too because I'm gonna run into the other guy's time, the other bookmap guy. Let's see, did I put this in? Yeah, I had to have because I trailed my stop. That was that. And then you had this new event though. More sell ice. So you have that and that. You know, I would probably just incorporate all 3 of these, right? So you got the buy stops, however the hell those came in, out of the middle of nowhere. Sell ice. I'm just gonna make this one big zone. So I could move my stop up if I want to, right? Something like that, right? Then bring this down. Just make that one zone. So we already know that. So the top's just moved 08.75, and then I would trade this accordingly. Like I said, is this a Izzy zone? This is an Izzy zone, so I would take the long out of there. So I'll stop out of my, well, I got to change my stop if I'm changing this zone. But I could go long off of this event if it bounces, right? An important area. So I'm moving this up another 13 points. 16.0875. So I'll trail my stop to this instead. I don't usually do that. I don't usually move it higher. Now it's 47.50 for the remaining shorts I have on. And then I'll stop out and I'll turn around and I'll go long Izzy. Wait. Yeah, I'm sorry. Stop out 47.75. Turn around and go long Izzy if it bounces out of here. Let me change those. So I'm short Izzy. I'm going to turn around and get out and then go long. And then I can put on a whopping 3 going back the other way. All right, so that's working. All right, I mean, again, I think these markets are going to get killed. It's an important area with a volume event. If they're really going to get killed, this volume event should not turn bullish. If it turns bullish, I'm going long. I'm a day trader. All right, guys, that is it. Hopefully you guys have learned a little bit today. Like, you know, every time the trades don't go your way, obviously. But you see, when you have a conviction in something, I wasn't breaking my rules just to jump in the short. I waited for everything to unfold, but I traded bigger size, and they've worked. Especially this pig market. It's so great to watch those 1,200 stops. It feels so good. Other than that, watch crude. If this gets to the ATR above here, I'm not taking those shorts. Otherwise, I'll still take the slugs, unless we got new lugs there. Just a quick, see if it built new ones. Nothing. So if it gets back, if you watch that Pamela Lovick webinar, it's in the pin messages in Bookmap, I think. I mean, in the Bookmap Discord. When it tries to get above red and doesn't have the ingredients to form new lugs and gets back below, that's when you usually get that too. So that may happen. But if this market touches,
stock sell CO.
Right, there you go.
202 contracts.
I just want to make sure it didn't touch the invalidation price for the short here. That was 84. Did it get up to 84? Did not. All right, so my short's still working at 26 here, right? From way before, slug and what was the other? Izzy and slug. I'll still take that, and then I can trail my stop to this event. And then if you get an algo guy pull, it's not still bullish, but if it does pull, then I'll take shorts that way too. And this is kind of, remember I told you how important that area was, and it's holding right now. that was this. This is why I'm going to take that short. It was right here in this zone that all this stuff has happened, and it's the top of this balance. So this could just turn around and come that. If it breaks out of here, then I'm going to trade double size to the long side. All right, that's it. Do this every day in my trading room. You can get the you know, in that document, my course with all the setups. You can learn the stuff on the fly in the trade room, but you're going to be lost at first. So if you want to fast track, get the course, learn the stuff, and then come in the trading room. If you remember the trading room, you get a discount to the course as well. So that's it. I will see you guys. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys next Thursday. Thank you.